this nation. OSBC brings you the news. News across the country.
Good evening and welcome to the news across the country. Governor Itola implored journalists to shun sensationalism in their reportage. Temporary workers suspend strike after 1 week. Entertainment news focuses on the difference between old and new classic Yoruba movies. Abba Kyari's co-defendants back 2-year jail term. The Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has reassured political parties, candidates, and the electorate in Ekiti State that the choice of who becomes the next governor of the state was entirely in the hands of voters. INEC stressed that it will not take any action to the advantage or disadvantage of any political party or candidates, adding that the commission has taken every step to ensure that the election holding this weekend is free, fair, credible, inclusive, and safe. Chairman of INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakub, who disclosed this in his address at the Ekiti Governorship Election Stakeholders Meeting in Ado-Ekiti today, said the focus of the commission is on the processes and procedures as provided by law. Like every conscientious Nigerian, Professor Yakub said the commission was deeply worried about the use of money to induce voters on election day. Meanwhile, presidential flag bearer of the All Progressives Congress, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has charged the electorate in Ekiti State towards sustaining the tempo of development evidently visible in the All Progressives Congress controlling states. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu gave the charge in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State capital, during the mega rally of the All Progressives Congress organized ahead of the Saturday gubernatorial poll. Governor's office correspondent Sonia Onorinde files in the details.
Ahead of the Saturday gubernatorial poll in Ekiti, the leadership of the All Progressive Congress from across the country converged on Oluyemi Kayode Stadium in Ado-Ekiti, Ekiti State capital, for its party mega rally. Speaking at the event, the All Progressive Congress presidential flag bearer, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, noted that the formation of All Progressive Congress in 2013 was specifically aimed at ensuring unity, stability, and progress, adding that the party has recorded and sustained accelerated developments across the country. Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who stood in for President Muhammadu Buhari, said that it is imperative in keeping the tempo of developments as evidently visible not only in the All Progressive controlling states but across the country. He therefore urged the electorates in Ekiti State to use their permanent voters card in sustaining the good governance in the state. The national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu, as well as the chairman of the All Progressive Congress Governors Forum, Alhaji Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, flanked by the Ekiti State incumbent governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, the governor of the state of Osun, Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola, Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu of Lagos State, Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State, Mr. Dapo Abiodun of Ogun State, among other governors of the forum from across the country, reiterated that all hands must be on deck in ensuring the victory of the party flag bearer, that all hands must be on deck in ensuring the victory of the party flag bearer in the Ekiti State gubernatorial election. In his remark, the Ekiti State All Progressive Congress gubernatorial candidate, Mr. Abiodun Abayomi Oyetunji, implore voters to come out en masse in the Saturday gubernatorial election in ensuring victory of the All Progressive Congress. Highlight of the occasion, which was punctuated by melodious tunes of the party slogans by the Fuji maestro Alhaji Wasiu Ayinde, was the presentation of the party flag to the gubernatorial candidate Mr. Abiodun Abayomi Oyetunji and his running mate Mrs. Christiana Afuye by the national chairman of the All Progressive Congress, Senator Abdullahi Adamu. From the governor's office, Sanya Honorinde reporting.
Meanwhile, Osun State Governor Mr. Adegboyega Oyetola has implored members of the Fourth Estate of the realm to shun sensationalism but rather embrace professionalism in their reportage, most especially in the forthcoming elections. Governor Oyetola gave the advice today while declaring open a two-day political communication workshop with the theme Election Coverage for Journalists and Information Officers, organized by the Ministry of Information and Civic Orientation. OSBC reporter Tobiloba Odunuga has the details.
Speaking at the two-day capacity workshop organized by the Ministry of Information and Civic Orientation in collaboration with the KA Media Consultant for Journalists and Information Officers, Governor Adegboyega Oyetola said the media workshop was aimed at building the capacity of media professionals for conflict-sensitive public issue and ICT-driven reportage of electoral processes. The governor, who was represented by the head of service, Dr. Olowogboyega Oyebade, noted that reporters have critical roles to play before, during, and after election in accordance with their roles as the eyes and ears of the masses.
People now that are doing this duty, journalists that fought for this civil war, that fought for the emancipation of the people from the cross of Abacha and his henchmen, that makes us have to see 22 years of democratic experiment should continue with the reportage that we want to do in the coming election.
In her address, the State Commissioner for Information and Civic Orientation, Mrs. Funke Egbemode, appreciated Governor Adegboyega Oyetola for his support at all times. Mrs. Egbemode noted that the workshop was put together for both broadcast and print journalists and information officers in the state of Osun to raise the competency of reporters in playing the role of the nation building.
We will also be learning how to stay safe. We are not heroes. We do not want anybody to die. We must also avoid hate speech, extremism in all and every of its form.
In their goodwill messages, speakers, including the chairman KA Media Consultants, Mr. Kehinde Bangbekon, the chairman House Committee on Information, Honorable Kunle Akonde, Director General Osun State Broadcasting Corporation, Mr. Rashid Folaranmi, and the State NUJ Chairman, Comrade Wasiu Ajadosho, among others, commended the Ministry of Information for putting together the two-day workshop program for reporters and information officers, adding that the media is the main institution placed to educate and inform the electorate in a dispassionate manner on the issues of public governance.
The state has gone this far because it has put the right person in the right place. To leverage on the capacity, the network, the goodwill of Mrs. Funke is a major strategic decision. And I want to really commend the governor for taking the best out of the field to serve our state. If, for instance, you run into a political violence for which you know the repercussion will be very grave for the state, it behoves on you to use your social responsibility to manage that information in a manner that will not escalate into a major problem for the state.
We must try as much as possible to ensure that we adhere to the Japanese principle of do it right the first time.
Participants, including Mr. Saeed Adeboji and Mrs. Abisola Aribodola, appreciated the organizers of the workshop, adding that it will widen their horizon on issues relating to election coverage. Oluwa Tobiloba Odunuga, reporting for OSBC News.
In the meantime, the National Peace Committee has appealed to the residents of Ekiti to choose peace over violence in the coming governorship election in the state. Chairman of the committee and former head of state, General Abusalami Abubakar, made the appeal in a statement barely a week to the election day. He urged the people to come out without fear, but with hope to exercise their franchise and vote to deepen the democratic process in the state. General Salami also advised the youth not to make themselves pawns in the hands of the political class, but should be aware that the security, stability, and future of Nigeria remain their common patrimony. Also, ahead of Saturday's gubernatorial election in Ekiti State, political gladiators have been admonished to play the game according to the rules. A legal practitioner, Bola Abimbolage, stated this while featuring on OSBC News and Current Affairs program, Politics, urged players in Saturday's election to eschew bloodletting and allow peace to reign supreme. The legal practitioner who restrained next year's presidential elections submitted that it will be a straight battle between the candidate of the ruling All Progressives Congress, Asiwaju Bola Tinubu, and the candidates of the main opposition party and former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. Mr. Abimbola Agewu agreed that religion may play a pivotal role in who becomes the next president of the country, posited that political exigency may allow for a Muslim presidential ticket. He urged whoever elected to have welfare of the people at heart by reducing poverty, embark on economic recovery, and end insecurity. President Muhammadu Buhari has met with 7 governors of the All Progressives Congress APC at the council chamber in Abuja. The governors are Kebbi State, Nasarawa, Kogi, Plateau, Imo, Jigawa, and Kaduna States. Although the purpose of the meeting is yet unknown, it comes a week after the presidential primary of the party. President Buhari, after the emergence of Bola Tinubu and as its presidential flag bearer in the 2023 elections, asked all members of the party to unite and support him. Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Femi Gbajabiamila, has questioned the primaries of political parties held across the country. He was concerned about 178 serving members of the House failed to secure the tickets of their various parties to return to the Green Chamber of the National Assembly. Honorable Gbajabiamila made the remarks today in his opening remarks to the lawmaker at the resumption of plenary after over 1 month of recess. According to him, many members lost because of the process of primaries using the delegate system, which is what the House fought for by making direct primaries compulsory in the Electoral Act, which the President has yet to sign. That clause of the Electoral Act had to be expunged, allowing political parties to decide their mode of primaries to select their candidates for various elections. In the meantime, the Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigerian Persons of the National Assembly has suspended its strike. The workers embarked on an indefinite strike since penultimate Monday to press home demands for payments of some allowances. Addressing the workers at the entrance of the National Assembly today, the Person chairman, Sunday Sabiye, said they agreed to suspend the strike following some agreements reached with the leadership of the Senate. This is the news across the country coming to you from Osun State Broadcasting Corporation. Ile-Awiye Okebailo Osogbo, Voice of the West. Now, our mid-news message. One of Nigeria's main social ills is patriotism, always endeavor to reward people on merit and not on other considerations. Entertainment news today focus on the difference between the old classic Yoruba movie and the news. The great actions and legendary actors that made the 80s and 90s memorable. Join Motunrayo Oladejo as she wrap up the entertainment news.
The Yoruba movies took the scene by surprise several years ago because of its top actions and historical display. There are a lot of fans of Nigerian movies, and in between, we have people that watch Yoruba movies, especially if their mother tongue is Yoruba. However, many argue that the new generation have missed out on great classic Yoruba movies, with fantastic content of the classic Yoruba movies that made the 80s and the 90s memorable. Yoruba movies prior to these days have nice concepts, nice scripts, and great legendary actors, although it was more like a low-budget movie compared to the ones being made these days. The classic Yoruba movies are still exciting and amazing set of movies, which are produced by the likes of Tunde Kelani, late Adelove, among other legendary movie producers. The plot, the characters, the setting, and the scenes are amazing, and these elements made the movies fun to watch. Some of these movies are Shaworide by the legendary Tunde Kelani, a movie that depicted tradition and politics; Toluwanile, a movie woven around land, traditional institution, and cultural heritage; Kotuoro and Kotuaye, superb movies from the late Ashileye; Ogbori Elemosho, which comprises of both the action, the story, and an amazing set of characters like Shawon Ogunlola, as acted by Chief Lere Paimo, and actor like Deji Aderemi Olofaino, among others. Other exciting classic movies include Lepa Shandi, Kodun Kokwa Kokwe, Magun, Abela Popa, and many more. Mr. Akiyemi Oluwatosi, in an interview with OSBC Entertainment News reporter on the difference between the new generational Yoruba movies and the oldest, he says, the difference is very clear because the old movies pass across tangible and important information compared to the new movies.
These new Yoruba movies are just there, no good content, they are not passing any information. But if you check those movies of the old, Sauride and Co., we are passing a very good information that, okay, if you do this, this is going to happen to you. But this new generation of Yoruba movies just filled with good cameras and women trying to, display their bodies on camera and all that.
Also speaking with Miss Mosumola Aponji, she said the old movies are still relevant to this day because of their unique content. However, there are still some very interesting new generational movies.
In my own view, I think there is difference. I think the olden film are being done based on what is happening during that time, what was happening rather during that time, and the movies are always interesting and catchy. In fact, there are some that are done in the olden days that are still relevant now, like Shaworode and all, talking about the government, the king of the village, how he's been harsh with the people, and there is no checking and balancing during his regime. Nobody can ask the king what he did and all that.
Many of the old movies are regarded as evergreen because they are always relatable to the intrigues embedded in them and morals they instilled. Some of their content are still used in the new movies that are being created today. Mosura Oladejo for OSBC Entertainment News.
Federal High Court Abuja today convicted and sentenced to 2 years imprisonment 2 co-defendants in a suit filed by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency against suspended DCP Abba Kyari over an alleged drug deal. Justice Emeka White in the judgment said, having admitted to have committed the offense preferred against them in count 5, 6, and 7 by the NDLEA, Buchuna Ubebe and Emeka Ezenwane, who are 6th and 7th defendants, are hereby convicted accordingly. He said the terms, which shall run concurrently, will commence from the day the defendants were arrested by the NDLEA. They are pleaded guilty to 5, 6, and 7 counts preferred against them by the Anti-Narcotic Agency. The establishment of anti-corruption clubs in schools across the state is aimed at changing the attitude of Nigerians by catching them young. The Osun State Resident Anti-Corruption Commissioner Alhaji Babalaro Shuaib disclosed this at the official inauguration of anti-corruption clubs in private and public secondary schools in Osun. The program by Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission is in collaboration with the Osun State Government. Shijua De Adesina is standing by for the details, and it was presented by Tunde Bolatito.
Addressing the formation of students from 6-year private and public secondary schools in Osun, the Chairman, Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, Professor Bolaji Owasowiye, who spoke through the State Resident Commissioner, Alhaji Babalaro Shuaib, commended Governor Adeboyega Oyetola on the efforts of his administrations in various ministries to fight corruption in the state. Alhaji Babalaro Shuaib said that the state government's commitment and dedication to fight corruption with the ICPC resulted to practical testimony. Describing corruption beyond pecuniary issues, the resident commissioner noted that it is not only about bribery, but also fraud, gratification, and other related offenses. Alhaji Babalaro Shuaib maintained that ICPC on tripod enforcement, prevention, and public enlightenment will do everything within the law to abate corruption in Osun State. He therefore appealed to all stakeholders, especially the institutions of learning and regulatory ministries, departments, and agencies to support ICPC in the implementation of the core value, charging the students to see themselves as anti-corruption ambassadors to other students and the society at large, saying it will go a long way to have a better fortune for the nation. In his goodwill message, Commissioner for Education in the state of Osun, Honorable Folarunsho Oladoyin, and the Executive Secretary Subeb Alhaji Adeoye Bakari reeled out effort by government to curb corruption in the public and private sectors in the state. The duo, who are represented by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Mr. Adelani Adeniola, and a director in the suburb, Mrs. Bola Adedire, admonished the gathering to shun corruption for the betterment of the society.
Let your community know, let your parents know, let everybody know that we want to eradicate corruption in Nigeria.
By 7:30, the responsible student must be in the school. 7:30. You must be in your school. And when it is break time, you must go out for break. When it is time after the break, the bell is done. What do you do? You go back to your classes.
The students expressed themselves through a lecture on inculcating positive values in the youth using anti-corruption clause, the ICPC perspective by the Director of Public Enlightenment and Education, ICPC Abuja, Alhaji Ashiru Baba.
No fewer than 500 participants from across the states are expected tomorrow morning at the Maiden Capacity Building Seminar packaged by Police Community Relations Committee, released by the Chairman State's PCRC, Alhaji Popola Ogundoyin, and the Secretary Elder John Okedoye, indicates that the seminar, which holds at White Plain Hotel, Ogoluwa area, Bongo Ibadan Road, Osogbo, will be preceded by the election of the new state executives for the association and the swearing-in formality. The statement stresses that the seminar, which is the first of its kind in the honors of PCRC in the country, is aimed at enhancing security awareness among members of the public. The program will attract dignitaries from all walks of life, including the Chairman PCRC, Dr. Farouk Meyama, the National Vice Chairman PCRC Southwest, Alhaji Ibrahim Olaniyan, National Assistant Secretary, Alhaji Sodiq Momo Iza, Force Public Relations Officer CSP Olumiwa Adejobi, and the State Command Police Public Relations Officer CSP Yemisi Okpalola. The chief host is the Police Commissioner for the State Commands, Mr. Wale Olokode. The Speaker of Osun State House of Assembly, Honorable Simoti Oweye, has emphasized the need for security operatives to redouble their efforts so as to salvage the alarming rates of insecurities. Honorable Oweye stated this while decorating the newly elevated police attached to him, Mr. Fatai Tijani, who has been promoted to the Assistant Superintendent of Police. The Speaker, while decorating the Assistant Superintendent of Police, recalled and condemned in strong terms the gruesome attacks on St. Francis Catholic Church or worshippers, a development which the Speaker said the killers of our worshippers will not be only arrested but incur the full wrath of the law. The State House of Assembly Speaker, Honorable Simoti Oweye, therefore congratulated the newly elevated Assistant Superintendent of Police, Mr. Fatai Tijani, just as he charged him to do more than before. Responding, the decorated Assistant Superintendent of Police appreciated the authority of the State Parliament for the honor done him. He promised them to do in the area of protecting and securing in accordance with the standing rules and regulations of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The meantime, Benue State Governor Mr. Swami Otom has condemned the recent killing of farmers by gunmen suspected to be elders in Edumoga in Okogwo local government area of the state. In a statement today by his Chief Press Secretary Nathaniel Iguyo, the governor described the killing as barbaric and demanded justice for the victims. He mourned the victims and described the murderers as cowards and criminals who must be fished out and prosecuted forthwith. Similarly, 11 kidnapped passengers from the March 28 Kaduna train attack, who were released last weekend, have been reunited with their families. The victims were released by their abductors on Friday, following a series of negotiations with the federal government after spending 11 weeks in captivity. The 11 victims comprises of 6 females and 5 males. Unique Transport Resources Limited, an Osogbo-based institute, has employed members of the public who are interested in first aiders and health safety personnel as a career to obtain their admission forms at the institute office, Kilometer 4, Bongo Ibadan Expressway, opposite Bovas Filling Station, Ogoluwa, Osogbo. A statement by the Chief Executive Officer of the institution indicates that the institution will train students to become certified first aiders and health safety personnel. According to the statement, would be participants after the training will have the opportunity to work anywhere across the globe, such as United Kingdom, Canada, and United States of America, among others. Unique Transport Resources Limited institution, approved by the state ministries of education and health, is poised to give youths of the country a sense of belonging in all ramifications. The release called on interested members of the public to visit the college premises at Kilometer 4 Bungombado Road, opposite Bova's filling station Ogoluwa Oshobo, or call GSM number 0706 9023 934 for inquiries. And now to sport. Arsenal target Victor Osimhen proved its worth as he scored 4 goals in Nigeria's biggest ever win on Monday afternoon. Napoli striker states the show as the Super Eagles completed as 10-0 thrashing of Sao Tome and Principe in their 2023 African Cup of Nations Group A qualifier. Adeyemi Abodere has the updates.
The Super Eagles yesterday erased a 63-year-old goals record by pummeling Sao Tome and Principe 10-0 in the second match of the African Cup of Nations qualifiers to consign the 10-0-1 win over Dahomey, now Benin Republic, in November 1959 to the dustbin of history. Super Eagles and Napoli striker Victor Osimhen scored 4 out of the 10 goals in Agadir, Morocco. The Super Eagles currently sit on top of Group A with 6 maximum points from 2 games, scoring 12 goals and considered just ones. Meanwhile, Super Eagles coach Jose Peseiro has revealed the secret of his team's 10-0 win over Sao Tome and Principe. Reacting to the heavy scoreline, Peseiro said the secret was due to the fact that the players are beginning to understand how he wants his team to play. In the meantime, Arsenal's opening bid for Napoli striker Victor Osimhen has been rejected. According to report, coach Mikel Arteta is said to be keen on acquiring the services of the Nigerian forward as a replacement for Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang and Alexander Lacazette. Arsenal's initial bid has fallen short of the mark at around 51 million British pounds, and Napoli are holding out for a more significant fee before considering allowing their talisman to depart. Unfortunately, it appears that the Gunners could yet again be battling Newcastle in the race to acquire a target signature, with Newcastle reportedly keeping tabs on Osimhen's situation and are tipped to join the battle in the near future. Manchester City has officially confirmed the signing of Borussia Dortmund striker Erling Haaland on a 5-year contract. He will join the club on first day of next month and will follow in the footsteps of his father, Erling Haaland, who played for Manchester City between the year 2000 and 2003. Marcelo has bid farewell to Real Madrid. Brazilian left-back joined the club from Fluminense in 2007 and lives as one of the greatest in his position to have ever played the game. Marcelo leaves the Santiago Bernabeu as the most decorated player in the club history. A selection of his honors include 6 La Liga titles and 5 UEFA Champions League titles. He made 545 appearances for Madrid, contributing 38 goals and 103 assists. Robert Lewandowski has reportedly rejected PSG and agreed a deal with Barcelona. The striker announced his desire to leave Bayern Munich this summer, with the Spanish giant leading the race to sign him. It has been reported that the striker has signed a 3-year contract on around £175,000 a week with Barcelona, worth £27 million in total. Olympic silver medalist Blessing Oborodudu, World Wrestling Championship silver medalist Odunayo Adekunroye, and 2017 National Youth Games champion Esther Kolawole will be part of this year's 3rd United World Wrestling Ranking Series. Championship holds from the June 22nd to 25th in Ostia, Rome, Italy. The Athletics Federation of Nigeria has picked Samuel Ogbemudia Stadium, Benin City, as the host for the trials for the Birmingham 2022 Commonwealth Games and the World Athletics Championship in Oregon, USA. Sport update returns tomorrow. My name is Adeyemi Abodere.
To end the news across the country, here again are the major points. Osun State Governor Mr. Adegoye Otola has implored members of the 4th Estate of the realm to shun sensationalism but rather embrace professionalism in their reportage, most especially in the forthcoming elections. The Parliamentary Staff Association of Nigerian Peasants of the National Assembly has suspended its strike. Entertainment news focused on the difference between old and new classic Yoruba movies. A federal high court Abuja today convicted and sentenced the 2 years imprisonment to co-defendants in a suit filed by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency against suspended DCP Abakari over an alleged drug deal. That was the news across the country, edited by Olushola Egbodofo. For more about us, can visit www.osbcng.org. Thanks for listening. Good evening.
You're listening to 104.5 megahertz.
Just like water, we are your indispensable companion. Ọ̀kan ṣoṣo àjànàkú tí mi gbó kìjikìji 104.5.
Láti rédíò Ọ̀ṣun 104.5 FM ilé àbúyé òkè Baálẹ̀ Òṣogbo